we in the last class we were doing this speech of Shylock where he was talking about Jacob and how he tricked to make profit out of his uncle, right? They had a business deal, and how he was tricking his uncle to earn a profit, and why he was doing so to justify his taking of interest. Previously, you had seen that he had asked Antonio that you are saying that you do not take or give interest. So Antonio replied in the affirmative. So on this, Shylock is trying to justify the taking and giving of interest. And for that, what is he doing? He is giving a reference of Jacob. I told when he says that when Jacob grazed his uncle Laban's sheep, right? He is starting a story. All right. But then he breaks over there and says that which Jacob am I referring to? This Jacob from our holy Abraham, right? Was the third possessor. That I am talking about the third possessor from the descendants of holy Abraham. And this Jacob is the third possessor. And then he thinks and says, yes, he was the third. All right. So, and in between, he adds a line, as his wise mother wrought in his behalf. So I told you, first of all, about Holy Abraham. Who is Holy Abraham? It is Prophet Abraham, the founder of Jewish race. I had made you write everything. Still, I am repeating it. If somebody has missed out something, then you can write. So Holy Abraham is Prophet Abraham, the founder of Jewish race. Then he had a son, Isaac, who all the power, all the inheritance was passed on from Prophet Abraham to Isaac. Now Isaac had turned aged and blind, and he wanted to give away his possessions, pass it on to his elder son Esau. And but Jacob's mother got to know that Isaac is going to transfer everything to Esau, so she tricked him and sent Jacob instead of Esau, Jacob disguised as Esau. She sent him to his father, and his father unknowingly blessed Jacob instead of Esau with all the property, with all the possession. And in this way, by means of trickery, Jacob inherited everything from his father instead of his elder brother Esau, right? Jacob inherited everything from his father Isaac and became the third possessor as mentioned over here. He became the third possessor. So now you know who was Jacob, who was Abraham, and what his wise mother, that is Jacob's mother, did. Wrought over here is refers to planning and tricking that she did in his behalf. On whose behalf? On Jacob's behalf. She did not do it for herself. She did it for her son, right? So now you know what Shylock means by this line, that he is trying to tell the story where Jacob's mother tricked Isaac into passing on his property to Jacob instead of Isaac. And now you know that Jacob is the third possessor after Abraham and Isaac, right? Now the story about Jacob and Laban would be revealed in this speech. All right. So he had just started, but the story has been interrupted where he started giving introduction of Jacob, that which Jacob am I referring to? And what of him? Did he take interest? So Antonio is saying that why are you referring to him? Did he take interest? You are telling, or you are asking me that you don't give and take interest, and now you're talking about Jacob. So what do you want to talk about Jacob? Did he take interest that you are trying to justify it? No, not take interest. So Shylock said that no, he did not take interest, not as you would say. That is, what you call as interest. He did not charge that money exactly. directly interest, something that you directly call interest. He did not do something like that as you call it, because Antonio uses this word interest, right? Shylock never uses this word. Calls it his well earned money. He calls it his profit, right? He doesn't call it interest. So he's saying that as you call it, directly interest, he did not do that. What he did, mark what Jacob did. He is saying, telling Antonio to pay attention. He's saying, now Mark, listen to it, that what Jacob did. When Laban and himself were compromised means they had a deal between them, right? An agreement signed between them. What was the agreement? That all the inlings which were streaked and pied should fall as Jacob's hire. That all the lambs, the newborn lambs that would be born with spots or stripes, would become Jacob's earnings, or Jacob's, you can say it will become his possession. This was a way to thrive, and he was blessed. So this was a way in which he was going to profit, and he was blessed means blessed. He was blessed, and thrift is blessing. All right. This earned money is a blessing if men steal it not. I'll just tell you the story. The thing was that Jacob and Uncle Laban had an agreement that Jacob would take the flock for grazing every day. And in return for this job, what is he going to get? All the newborn lambs that would be born with spots or stripes would become Jacob's possession. So what Jacob used to do, when during the breeding season, when the mother sheep would be expecting, he used to place wooden rods in a way that the shadow of the wooden rods fell on the mother sheep, and in turn the babies got influenced by it, and when they were born with stripes or spots. This thing is known as prenatal influence. All right, it actually happens that the environment affects or influences the birth of a newborn. So when the newborn, these new lambs would be born, they would be born with stripes and spots. So this is a way to thrive. When Shylock says that this is a way to thrive, so he's saying this is the way that Jacob used to earn a profit, and he was blessed. He was being blessed with lots of lambs. Why? Because they all were being born with stripes and spots. Obviously, this because of this prenatal influence, what was happening? The number of lambs born with stripes and spots kept increasing. All right, and this profit, this thrift became a blessing. It is always a blessing if men steal it not. So Shylock is saying a general thing now, that if any profit is being earned other than stealing, then it is a blessing. All right, so you can use any trickery, you can use any method of earning money. It is just that it should not be stealing. All right, it should not, money should not be stolen. Otherwise, if you are earning it in any way, then it is always a blessing. There is nothing wrong in that, according to Shylock. So this is the story that he tries to convey. And why is he conveying this story? To justify his taking interest. He gave the example of Jacob, and then towards the end, he said that any way of earning money is a blessing. It is just that one should not steal money. All right. So according to Shylock, any money earned other than stealing is always a blessing. So Antonio is saying this was a venture, sir, that Jacob served for. So now Antonio listened to the entire things, and he said that this was a risky enterprise, right? What Jacob did. and a thing not in his power to bring to pass. Now, Antonio doesn't understand that this trickery is being involved. So he's saying that, this is something, which is not in the hand of man, that the lambs would be born with stripes or not. It is just that, uh, but swayed and fashioned by the hand of heaven. This is something that heaven would do, that is God would do. It is something that is fashioned, means created or, designed by God. It is not something that is in our hands. All right, that we can, twist things and let make the newborn ones to come with stripes. All right, so this was a risky thing that Jacob did. He was blessed with a lot of spotted lambs, so must be that he was fortunate enough to get so many lambs. But this was not something in his hand. This was something designed by nature, designed, made by God. All right, was this inserted to make interest good? So he's asking Shylock that, was this story inserted, means brought over here in this conversation? Why did you pick up this topic? You brought this topic in the conversation to make interest good, means to show that in taking interest and giving interest is a good thing. You're trying to justify giving or taking of interest. So Antonio is understanding that he is giving this example to justify giving and taking of interest. Is your gold and silver eves and rams? He's saying, is your money, that is gold and silver, equivalent to eves and rams, that is female and male of the sheep? So Antonio is saying that this is what example you are telling is not something which is in the hand of man. This is something that is fashioned or designed or created by God, by nature. And why did you bring up this topic? Was this topic inserted in this conversation to justify interest? Are you saying that your money is equivalent to eves and rams? What are you trying to say? I cannot tell. I make it breed as fast. So Shylock is saying that I cannot tell you that why have I inserted this thing, but whether my money is equivalent to eves and rams, but yes, I make it breed as fast, means the rate at which the sheep, the population of sheep gets doubled, I also double my money with the same rate, right? Obviously, when you have a lot of sheep, the mother sheep are going on producing babies after every maybe 6 months or 1 year, whatever it is. So the population keeps increasing very fast. So he is saying that I also keep multiplying my money at a very fast rate, as at a rate equivalent to the rate at which these sheep breed, right? My money also multiply in the same at the same rate. You can underline breed at as fast and write multiply at the same rate. All right, but note me, Signier. So now he's saying, but note me, means pay attention to what I am saying. Signier again refers to sir. Then Antonio is saying, mark you this, Bassanio, the devil can cite scripture for his purpose. So now Antonio is addressing Bassanio, and he's saying that the devil, mark you this, that Antonio, make a note of this thing. The devil can cite scripture for his purpose. That is, even if the devil is there and he wants to justify his purpose, obviously devil is not going to do something good. All right, devil won't do anything that would be morally right. But if he wants to justify what he is doing, that this is right, he can quote from scriptures. Scriptures over here refers to holy books. And why is Antonio saying this? Because Shylock is using the reference of Jacob, who was the third possessor of prophet, third, in generation of prophet Abraham, right? And prophet Abraham was someone very, noble, and he was the founder of Jewish race. So he was someone of great status and was respected by everyone, right? So they are bringing up holy things in their conversation. Shylock is bringing up these people in his conversation to justify his wrong motives. All right. So Shylock is trying to justify his wrong motives by making use of the names of these holy people, right? So Antonio is saying that even the devil can even quote from the scriptures to justify what he has been doing. So in a way, he is referring to Shylock as the devil over here. An evil soul producing holy witness. Who is the evil soul? Shylock is the evil soul. And what he is doing? He is producing a holy witness. He is bringing examples and witnesses from the holy book, right? He is using these noble holy people as an example to justify his wrongdoing. And what is his wrongdoing? The giving and taking of interest. Is like a villain with a smiling cheek. So an evil soul who is producing a holy witness is like a villain. All right, such a person is like a villain with a smiling cheek. All right, that is he's not whoever this and the soul is this. He's so evil that he is bringing in holy witness. Holy witness refers to prophet Abraham. He is using these holy names, and so he is a villain. He is a bad man. He is a pretentious man, right? And with a smiling cheek. Now, in previous times when these plays and all were staged, the villains were given a very horrible face. All right, they were given a very horrible appearance so that they are disliked by everyone. All right, whenever these stage plays were staged, the villains were given a very horrible appearance so that the audience disliked them already, right? So as to get their character into the characters in a good, make them strong. So this was done. Now over here, when Antonio is saying that he is like a villain with a smiling cheek, he is referring to that he, though he is a villain, but because his appearance is good, he is saying that with a smiling cheek, that you won't understand by his appearance that he is a villain. All right, because villains used to have a bad appearance, have a horrible appearance, but because Shylock doesn't have a horrible appearance, so he is saying that this is a villain with a smiling cheek. All right, so people might get confused. Why? Because he doesn't have a horrible appearance. He is a villain with a smiling cheek. Smiling cheek refers to that thing, that he was not having a horrible appearance. All right. A godly apple rotten at heart. Godly apple means an apple which is looking very fresh and juicy from the outside. When you see it from the outside, the skin of the apple is very red and glowy, and it's looking very juicy and tasty. But when you cut it, it is rotten inside. Rotten at the heart means it is rotten from inside. So he is referring to Shylock, saying that he is like a godly apple rotten at heart. That means on the outside he is a good man, but on the inside in his heart he is not a good man. All right. Oh, what a goodly outside falsehood hath. He's saying that now he's using exclamation and saying that what a good outside appearance falsehood can create. All right. He is just, making a general exclamation. Then Shylock is saying, now Shylock is bringing the topic back to the bond, because, Antonio has again started criticizing Shylock. So he's bringing the topic back to the bond and saying 3,000 ducats. Tis a good round sum. All right. So he is bringing the topic back to the bond and saying that 3,000 ducats is a good sum, means it's a large amount. If you want, you can underline and write down that it is a large amount of money. 3 months from 12. So they've selected a date that from 12 the time will be counted, and 3 months from 12, what is going to happen? You will have to, would be the due date, and you will have to return me my money. Then let me see the rate. So he's saying that, all right, let me see what is the rate, refers to rate of interest, that how much I have to charge interest from you. Well, Shylock, shall we be beholding you? That is, shall we be indebted to you? Beholding over here means indebted. That is, you are going to pay, give us the loan. Obviously, when he will give the loan, we will become indebted, right? So he's asking Shylock that shall we become indebted to you? That is, he is in a way asking that are you going to give us the loan? Signor Antonio. So you can see that how manipulative Shylock is. All through, he has been showing his hatred, but we know that he has hatred in his heart, but on the outside, he is having a pretentious look and referring to Antonio as Signor Antonio every time, right? You can see how respectfully he's talking to Antonio while holding so much of hatred in his heart, right? So you can say that he is a very manipulative and shrewd person. All right, write it over there. Okay. So you can write down that Shylock is a manipulative person. He is a shrewd person. Why? Because he is tricking Antonio, though he is holding grudge inside his heart, but on the outside, he is behaving very nicely, calling him sir every time, right? He's not even taking Antonio's name directly. Instead, he is using sir along with it each time, right? Now, this speech of Shylock, you tick mark it and write very important, and write down there, this speech lists the reasons, this speech lists the reasons of grudge that Shylock has against Antonio, that Shylock has against Antonio. All right. Now, he's saying, Signor Antonio, many a time and oft in the Rialto you have rated me. Now, though what Antonio has been saying that you are like a beautiful, juicy and fresh apple on the outside and you are rotten on the inside. So up till now, we can see that yes, Shylock has been like that because he's holding a grudge inside his heart, and on the outside he's being very respectful to Antonio. But now you will see that why Shylock hates Antonio so much. Shylock is going to give the reasons. He is saying many a time and oft. Oft means often. So many a times and very often, what in the Rialto is the Venetian Stock Exchange, you have rated me. Rated means abused. All right. You have insulted me. Underline rated and write down insulted. You have insulted me about my monies and my usances. You can underline that and write financial deals. So whatever transactions, whatever business deals Shylock does, Antonio used to insult him about those business dealings. Still, I have borne it with a patient shrug. Shrug refers to shrug of the shoulder. Like when you don't want to give value to something, you just shrug it off, right? So Shylock is referring to that I bore all these insults with a patient shrug. That is, I had been patient and I shrugged it off, not giving it any worth. Though you have insulted me many a times, and not in private, but instead in the Venetian Stock Exchange, where all the merchants used to gather. Still, I bore those insults with patience and I shrugged them off. Why did I do that? For sufferance is the batch of all our tribe. That is patience. Sufferance over here refers to patience. Patience is the badge, that is the mark of our tribe. Tribe over here refers to Jewish race. All right. So he's saying that because patience is the mark of our Jewish race, therefore I have been putting up with all the wrongs you have done. Right. Now, what was the truth? Why actually he was bearing it all? Because he couldn't have done anything. Right. Jews were a minority in the land of Christian. He couldn't have done anything, right? All the laws, all the officers, all the authorities were all in the hands of the Christians. He couldn't have actually done anything against Antonio, even if he wanted to, right? So he is presenting it in a way that I, bore everything. I put up with all the wrongs that you've done with patience. Why? Because patience is the badge of our Jewish race. You call me misbeliever. Why misbeliever? Because he's not a Christian. So according to Christians, the ones who don't believe in Christianity are misbelievers. So he's saying that, but according to Shylock, it is an insult that he is Antonio is calling him a misbeliever. So he's saying, he's complaining that you've called me misbeliever. You have called me cutthroat dog. All right. And spit upon my Jewish gabardine. Now, gabardine is a dress, a long dress, out like a coat kind of thing. You can say a long coat. All right. That is traditionally worn by Jews. All right, so this is some clothing that is related to the tradition of the Jews. All right, and therefore it has a specific name, gabardine. All right, so now he's saying, he's complaining that you've called me with all sorts of bad names. You've called me a cutthroat dog, and you have even, spat on my Jewish gabardine, right? So this was something very that has hurt Shylock a lot. And for all the use of that which is mine own. And why you have done all this? Because for the use of that, because I have been using a thing which is mine own. So, you've done all of this not for a proper reason, but for using something which is my possession only. And what is he referring to by this? That is for the way in which I use my money, which is my own means the money that is my own. So what is has he been doing? Has he been doing with his money? He had been lending money. All right, lending his money to people and charging interest of it. Right. So you have been doing all these things to me for using my own money in a way I like. And why Antonio was doing all this? Because Shylock was charging interest. He was in what way was he using his money? He was lending his money to various people and charging interest out of it, which was wrong according to Antonio. Well, then, it now appears you need my help. So he's saying, now you've done all of these things. Now I have been lending money. So you said that this was the wrong thing. You've done all sorts of bad things to me for this. And now you need my help. So you come to me. Go to, then you come to me and you say, Shylock, we would have monies. You say so, right? So he is asking Antonio, saying to him that, you've been condemning me for giving money, lending money to people and charging interest. But now when you need money, you're coming to me and saying, Shylock, please give me some money, right? We would have monies means, please lend us some money, right? Go to then refers to means he is expressing surprised over here. All right, by this phrase, he is uh, just this can be underline it and write it, an expression of surprise. Then you say so, you that did void your room. Void your room means to spit on someone. Underline it and write void your room. It means to spit on someone. All right. So you who spat upon my beard. So not just on his clothing, on his apparel, but also on Antonio had also spat on his beard. And foot me. Foot me means kicked me. Foot means kicked. So foot me as you spurn a stranger cur. Cur means dog. All right. So as someone kicks and turns away a stray dog, in a similar manner, you have kicked me and shooed me away over your threshold, that is out of your house. All right. So what all you have done, again he is listing that you are the person who spat upon my beard. You are the person who kicked me as if I was a stray dog and drove me out of your house. You are that same person, and now money is your suit. Now you require money. Money is your desire now. Money is your request now. You can underline suit and write request. What should I say to you? So now you've done all these things to me, and now you need my help and you request me money. So what reply should I give to you? Right? So he is asking Antonio that what reply should I give you? Should I not say, had the dog money? Should I ask you in return of all these insults that does a dog have money? You used to call me a dog, so does a dog have money to lend? Is it possible a cur can lend 3,000 dogs? Cur is another word for dog. So he's saying that is it possible that a dog can lend 3,000 ducats? You have come to me asking money, and according to you, I am a dog. So can a dog lend 3,000 ducats? Or shall I bend low in a bondman's key? Or should I bend low means bow down in front of you in a bondman. Bondman is a bonded labor. All right. Bonded labors, he means in his attitude, in a slave's voice. You can underline bondman, bondman's key and write in a slave's voice. So should I bow in front of you and like a slave with bated breath and whispering humbleness, means with very soft voice and in a very low tone. Bated breath means in a very low tone. Whispering humbleness means showing humility. Keep writing the meanings. So he's saying, shall I bow before you like a slave and in a slave's voice, in a very low tone and with humility, I should say to you, fair sir, you spit on me Wednesday last, you spurned me such a day, another time you called me a dog, and for these courtesies I will lend you thus monies. So he is taunting Antonio and saying that after all these things, what should I do? Should I bow in front of you and in a very low tone, like a slave, in showing humility? I should say that, very good sir, you spat on me Wednesday last, and you turned me away like a dog, and a third time you called me a dog, and for all, in return for all these things, I should show you courtesy. And how should I show you the courtesy? By lending you my money. So do you expect me to do that? Do you expect me that you have done all these things to me, and in return of that, I should bow down, show humility, and say that in return of all these insults, I will give you money, I will oblige you or help you by lending you such a good amount of money. All right. So here are a number of reasons for which Shylock hates Antonio. right? You can use these points that he used to call him a misbeliever, used to call him a cutthroat dog. He spat on his gabardine, he spat on his beard, he kicked him like a stray dog, right? He called him a dog, right? For all these reasons, you can list when it is asked that what are the reasons for which Shylock hates Antonio. You can be asked to give examples, so you can quote them from over here. All right, that is enough for today.